So Caroline, can you help us understand what the holistic is?
Holistic for me is about the whole. It's like looking at a whole person, not just the mind, not just the body, or not just the spirit, but bringing the three in together. It's like blending them together, because who we are is a representation of all three. So in my work as a holistic counsellor, I look at cause and effect. What we experience in our day-to-day activity is usually the effect of a cause. Cause is usually childhood or adolescence, something that we haven't dealt with or grieved properly through. And the symptom, the effect, how we live our life, how we talk, how we act, how we react, that is what is presenting. So in holistic counselling, what I do is have a look where that has been presenting itself through their life. So people will come in with an effect. This is what's happening to me today. This is what I want to clear. Why does this keep happening to me is one of the statements I always hear. Why does this keep happening to me? So what I will look at is just basically their childhood, having a look through, just tapping into different points, what's happened, and then all of a sudden it'll just hit, I'll find it. And how that works for me, not everyone, but because I'm clairaudient, I hear my guidance, and they will help me find the point, the energy that is blocked in the body's system. And then what I do is I work through that with holistic techniques.
So that's kind of like acupuncture. They do like points of the body and release certain things.
Yes.
So do you do that sort of stuff to help fix them?
Yes, there is one technique called emotional freedom technique, EFT, which is based on acupuncture points in the body, and it's a tapping sequence. So you tap emotional fields and clear them so that the body relaxes again, so that you're calm. So we work in mind, body and spirit. With the mind, I work with a lot of techniques, questioning thoughts, having a look at what the mind is telling you. It's the mind that beats you up, the mind that tells you you're no good, you should have done this, you didn't do that, all the things that block us. So we work in that level, clearing. A lot of inner meditation work we use as a meditation facilitator. I've done this for 20 years, and so I really understand the depth of where people can lock things in. So we unravel. It's about unraveling the blocks of the system. So I look at the body as a system, and I look at where it's locked in, different tools and techniques that we use in the holistic counselling to help people.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. Now, I know like acupuncture really works. I don't know if all you guys tried acupuncture before?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Of course, yeah. Because I had a bad back, and I thought, like, normally I went into this sort of field just thinking, like most guys do, go in there, oh, yeah, they're going to put some needles in me, but I'm not expecting much. You know, I'm a martial artist, so I know the spiritual sort of stuff, and I'm not just a big burly, like, even though I have a beard. But I didn't know what I would expect. And from, I think, the second session, the pain was gone. I had a nerve pain going down the leg. So I was flabbergasted that, like, just a couple of sessions of just unblocking these sort of things, the nerve pain never came back. So this stuff really does help. Now, I guess we've got some different sort of stuff. We've got some crystals on the table. So do you guys use any crystals in your therapies? Can why don't you guys explain like how the crystals help sort of react with your body? Because I guess we know how pins work, but how do the crystals work?
Well, they're also energy, you know, it's just energy, and just like acupuncture, you know, the needle's just going in there creating an energetic match, you know, it's clearing the energy that's blocked. And the crystals are very similar, you know, they meet us where we are. So that's, you know, where the holistic thing is, working with all of these different modalities, is that whatever you are vibrating is what you are being, you know. So our thoughts are creating everything. So when people come, I work in a crystal shop, and when people come in, they're like, oh, you know, what should I get? And I said, you just need to just walk around and see what comes to you.
And feel out, like my big babies, if you've seen
I love them, they're beautiful.
You're not allowed to take them home.
It's all right, I've got hundreds.
That's fine. No, but see, that's what I feel like when I saw a scientific survey on actual crystals, they actually scientifically found that there's something different. Like,
well, we are crystals. We are literally made up of crystals. We are made up of crystalline energy.
Really? Can you explain?
Well, we are quartz crystal, just like your computer, just like your watch. We are crystalline energy. So the crystals come from the earth, and we are actually made up of the earth. Like, we are minerals. So if you work with peridot, for instance, if you take it as a liquid crystal, the mineral that's in peridot, I'm not scientific. See, I only know energy work. I'm not sciencey. So, I'll work with lepidolite, because lepidolite is the only crystal with lithium in it. So when you take the liquid crystal of lepidolite, you are taking lithium. So it's amazing for people with bipolar or schizophrenia or any sort of brain depression, because lithium makes you happy. So you then are taking whatever mineral is in these crystals, celestite, ruby, garnet, whatever mineral is there. So if you are low in iron, you can take hematite, and hematite is full of iron. And then it's like homeopathy. It's like and like. You're treating like with like. How homeopathy works like that? Energetically. So again, it's the same sort of thing. Okay. You're matching the crystal's vibration, but taking the liquid crystals is taking the mineral of the crystal, but still working with them is the same. But the liquid crystal modality does go a little bit further. It's something that I haven't, I've been working with crystals for 15 years, and the liquid crystals is above and beyond.
It's like a whole different level.
It is. It's just it's just up a level. Wow. Yeah. So again, it's just all energy.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing. So, Marilyn, within your stuff that you do you use a lot of crystals?
I don't use a lot of crystals, but I do like using them for clearing and for healing sessions. I like having them under the massage table for the specific use at the time. And I do find that the energy in the room is always kept a lot cleaner, and people do normally leave feeling a lot fresher, and often offer them a crystal themselves to take with them, because
that's amazing.
You will find that they're attracted to a particular one.
Yeah, well, I brought my birthstone, so I'm very amethyst.
Amethyst. Is that January?
February.
No, February.
It's me.
Yes,
February.
Aquarius,
so I even brought some organite with some amethyst in it, I think, as well, or it could be rose quartz. It looks
like smoky. What's on the bottom? Is it smoky?
That's all organite. So that's
nice.
A different.
Wow.
So what happens is the crystal energies react with the metals and create a resonance, and that resonance then actually creates a good vibe.
Yep.
It's totally cool. So it's got this wire in there, and then it's got rose quartz crystals as well.
Yeah. So what?
Really cool.
There's a different couple of things, and what they do is they're like a cleaning energy.
Yeah.
And what they're supposed to do is avoid any bad, negative, or low vibrational. They can't go near it just because it just feels weird. Like it's one of that sort of thing. But what it does is if you've got clusters, it's supposed to clear the clusters, and it just gets itself back to its original vibration. A lot of these people are like in conspiracy land. What a lot of people are doing is they're creating like bad energy places around the planet, and what a lot of people are doing is they're making their own organite, and they'll chuck them in those places to bring them back to the right rotation, the right vibration, to bring us back up, rather than letting all the bad vibes bring everyone down, which could be happening in an area. Depends, do you guys believe obviously in entities, all that kind of stuff?
I believe that whatever you are thinking about, you create. So
I would agree with that.
Into that. Yes.
Okay, so in the sense, if it's an entity, it would stop that from happening. If you're looking at it in psyche or consciousness, it's stopping you from creating that within yourself. Because an entity could be just a personification of what you're manifesting, which is what you believe, or in consciousness kind of land is you're just making it there because you believe it's there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically, the entity, it really, everything will manifest basically on what you're thinking. So, when people feel or see entities in atmosphere, it's usually what's going on within that atmosphere, within the mind of the person who creates that energy field.
That's quite strange because, like, say if we're thinking about ghosts and all that kind of stuff, because we've got either two options. It's either they're making themselves believe it in a very, I guess, psychotherapist kind of way, or it's something that they're seeing because they're more aware and they can see more spectrum, or in the scientific land, more spectrum of light, so that they're aware of these beings that obviously give off different spectrums of light. So how do you differentiate this kind of stuff with therapies? Like, I'd say let's try and go into it, because I guess all you guys come from a different perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
In this sort of land, like we'll start with Carolyn. She seems eager, ready to go.
Okay, where do I
Go.
begin? Yeah, my world has a lot of that in it. What do I say? I had an experience, well, since I was a child, basically being clairaudient, so listening to hear. I never knew that there was any difference between what I hear and what other people hear. So when I first explained it in a group, they kind of all looked at me like I was strange, and I realised that not everyone has someone. It wasn't just my voice; it was someone actually talking and sharing information.
And you thought it was natural, like your friend Jill would do that same thing. We had a guy called Simon Xavier on, and he was like the kid from The Sixth Sense when he was a kid. He was that kid. But he didn't know it was any different. He'd just be like, "Oh, Dad, who's the guy you're with?" And he's like, "What?" And his dad just freaks out. It's like, "I'm not here. You're crazy. You are crazy." But like he was seeing sort of thing. So it's quite interesting when we look at this, because this sort of phenomena can make people go into bad places.
I think it's very different, a ghost and spirit of a past loved one compared to a sort of a dark entity. I personally, in my beliefs, I don't think that they're even sort of in the same spectrum. I think to be aware and awake and picking up and seeing spirit, or connecting with them, or hearing them, or whatever's going on for you with a spirit or angel or even star being. But when it gets into this dark place, that's because what we think we create. So if you're thinking along those lines, I've had people, I've been in bed for 1 whole year because of a dark entity. I'm like, yeah, pretty sure that's just you creating that. It's a really great excuse to not do anything and not move forward.
Or do you kind of like, just since you vibrate on that sort of thing,
absolutely,
something's comfortable that you might not be aware of, goes, okay, well, that thing feels comfortable for me to be next to.
Whatever you vibrate to,
it'll
you
just
create.
it'll just happen. Exactly. Like, okay, Mr. Murderous Bill, or whatever his name is, just goes, I'm comfortable being around like that really depressed person, because it feels homely in a sort of spirit sort of land.
And as you were saying, it's the vibration. It's, like attracts like. So depending on where your mind is, your thought, what you're feeling, you attract that into your energy field. And as you raise vibration, as your energy changes, you heal your mind, you heal your past experiences, then you raise to a different vibration, and then that is what you'll see. So everything is an experience external on what was going on internal.
And then that's actually represented on your life. Let's try and look upon spirit in this sort of thing. Let's take it down a bit of spirit land. Carolyn, with your experiences in what you do and working with spirits, did you find that there would be a modality where there is really low, dense kind of stuff and really high sort of vibrational beings or entities or energies that help people for therapy?
To me, energy just is.
Yeah.
It really depends on where the person, the individual is, to what it appears in their reality. Thoughts create reality. So when the thoughts are low, the vibration within is low, and it can appear as something scary outside of them. You change your thoughts, your reality changes. The change has to always happen internal, never external. We see this world as solid, and it's everything that we are. But in my reality, what I share with people is everything outside of me is an illusion. Now, some people go, oh, that's a bit full on, but the word illusion actually means that it's changeable. It means that it is vibrating mass that changes based on what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So in my experience, as I watch people shift, or even myself on my own journey, my whole reality changes based on what my mind is doing with it. So thoughts create reality.